Greetings and welcome back to another chat on the ABE theme. And I will be just reading a few extracts from the new ABE Communications book, The Reality Game, which has just recently come out and is the second volume in the Way Back Home series. And so to get onto it, um, in the reality game section of this book, Abe is telling us that to start off with, they're speaking about the power structure that we often refer to, and of course, according to how we see things, we often are pointing at let's say, the top of the pyramid, those minority people in power and how they abuse power. And we keep looking up there, and Abe says that actually takes focus away from ourselves and could actually lead to further division and between ourselves. And this is a quote from Abe. Abe says, because he's talking about the shift away from our inner being, quote, "It has to be of resonation of your being. And as humans, you can go around blaming people at the top, as you have done for so long. But you see, it is not moving anything, and therefore just causing more and more division. So again, if we just go around blaming people at the top, then, as Abe says, it's not moving anything. It's not really creating the shift in ourselves, this outer focus. And so we need to recognize it, but not to always be, kind of addicted to talking about the power out there, because it takes away the power of ourselves. And of course, that decreases our own perceptive capacity if we're always looking out. And our growth as human beings is in relationship to our expansion of our perceptive capacities and perceptual insights. And the more we have these perceptual insights, the more we can link them up into a kind of relational understanding of how everything is. And it's almost a kind of rewiring of ourselves by joining our perceptual insights. And on this, Abe says, quote, "Be slow with yourselves. Allow it to link up itself, to allow these new neural pathways to form, to resonate, to connect. And in this, it can be solidified." So first off, Abe says, be slow with yourselves, meaning a kind of, we need to step back ourselves from this onrush of life, which is always kind of overwhelming, especially now with this, increased informational flow. It pulls us in. And now, as we know, in this kind of digital age, everything seems 24/7, full on. So in order to kind of understand or, kind of create new pathways and as Abe says, new neural pathways, we're trying to rewire our brain to, as a way of eliciting perceptual understanding. We have to just step back a bit and allow that new space to grow our perceptual insights. As Abe says, be gentle with ourselves and to know that which distracts us, and not to get kind of energetically entangled into this illusory reality. I mean, it's reality, but there's illusion within it. And Abe gives an analogy of stopping for a while to repair a wheel on a cart. I'll give the quote of this analogy. Abe says, "You see, you can pull your heavy carriages over the rock in the path and risk your carriage being broken, breaking a wheel, giving you time to repair it, to rest. And you can but also stop and take time to remove the rock. But you do so see both of these things give space. So if we're not aware of what's coming along the road and our carriage, I know it's an old metaphor because very few people drive carriages now, um, but I think it's very appropriate. If we don't see what's coming in the road, the carriage, the vehicle will hit the rock and break the wheel. Something will be damaged. We'll have a shock impact. So therefore, we're forced to stop and repair the wheel. Alternatively, Abe says we can be aware of what's coming down the path. We can see the rock, stop the carriage beforehand, and remove the rock. Either way, we need to take a pause. Whether the rock breaks the wheel and we change the wheel, or we stop and remove the rock, in each case, our journey needs a pause. So what Abe is saying is that we need to take a rest to kind of, whoa, don't get pulled along with all this kind of fast flowing current. Step back and take the pause. And I suppose we could say that, take an analogy of what happened in a couple of years ago, with the kind of, the world went into lockdown, everyone went into a forced stop. And for many people, that actually activated our critical faculties. We took time to reflect on what's important to us, and how fragile is our sense of human freedom. And a lot of people took time out to reassess how we evaluated our sense of the world and our model of reality. So in a sense, that analogy is correct because we were either forced into that stop mode because many of us didn't have, I suppose, the foresight to stop and take the rock away. We didn't see what was coming. So it's important to have that kind of detachment and space, amidst this head rush that's going on. And there's another nice phrase that Abe throws out. They throw them out like, very casually, it seems, but this is a nice phrase. It says, it is but pointless to talk flower language to a seed, for there is still much growth. So again, it's about we should be aware of how we communicate, because if we're communicating with seed, we shouldn't use flower language. We should use seed language, because of course the seed is a different state of growth than the flower. And the world, everybody in the world is at a different state of their own individual growth. And yet sometimes it feels like, people are shouting across at odds at people because we're not in the same resonant or relative mode of connection. And that's the whole theme of the book. It's relations with ourselves, the world around us, and the greater universe. We need to get our relationship, but our relationability balanced, so we can communicate and not have different structures of communication. Okay, and so another kind of growth plant analogy that Abe used in the same section, reality game. It's about how we need the perceptual awareness that everything is kind of interrelated, and we need to take care on all the aspects to get the correct growth. Abe says, now you are but a plant that is growing, but you are also the soil that nourishes and the gardener that tends and nurtures. So you see, a plant needs, obviously, to be grown in the correct soil, and it needs to be tended by the gardener and nurtured. But we shouldn't think of these as separate things. We are all those things. We are the plant and the soil and the gardener. So we take on board all aspects of our growth and don't kind of compartmentalize them or separate them. And part of this kind of separation, compartmentalization, or splintering, as Abe refers to it, is a sense that we're kind of pick and mixing, taking everything on, And Abe refers to this as a kind of vibrational shopping. Just as if we go into a shop and we take, all different items off different shelves, Abe says, well, similarly, we're taking on board all different vibrational aspects and just piling them onto us, which is not balanced in any way. And so Abe gives analogy of human behavior. He says, quote, or they say, quote, collecting this and that, putting it in the trolley, adding it to the cart, round and round they go, seeing more that they seemingly need, when in truth a few fine ingredients would suffice. But you see, they had but come with an empty vibration, and everything seems so enticing, so they keep adding. This is but the point at which you are at. The cart is full, you are overloaded, and there is but no slight chance that you can but consume it all or use it all. So the idea is that we arrive with empty vibration, like a pure resonance. And yet what we did is that we got tempted into all these other aspects external to us, and we felt like we needed them. So, we started to add them on. So like vibrational shopping, take this, take that, take that. But now, of course, the cart is full. We are overwhelmed. And there's no chance that we can use all this. We're just overburdened, and we keep adding it. And so it's as if we're saying that we energetically or vibrationally attach to so many different aspects around us, like something over there, something in the news there, something that we picked up on the television or social media, boom, boom. And we add it all and we overwhelm our own vibrational state. And of course, not only do we give away our energy by externally entangling energetically with these things, but we also kind of get confused and we overwhelm ourselves, and we need to kind of strip away and get back to the kind of, empty vibration or pure resonance, our home vibration, as Abe would say, and then see things clearly. And that perhaps means why we need to step back. So these are just some of the aspects that are mentioned in the reality game. And there's so many points in there, I can't bring them all up, but in these chats, I'll make one or two videos and just bring up a few highlights. I think what I find about the Abe material is that it's all very positive, but it's all very almost simple. There's nothing kind of cosmic or esoteric being talked about. It's talked about in a very simple language, and it's just saying, hey, you need to bring it all home back to yourself. It's all about bringing things back to ourselves and just kind of stripping away the extra garnish and coming back to what is essentially needed, which is our essential states, and to strip away all our illusions and delusions and added extras, our vibrational cart. We go shopping too much and we need to, take things away. So there we are, a few thoughts there from Abe. So I will join you next time. So in the meantime, stay well and don't be vibrationally overloaded. Okay, cheers.